All right, we have breaking news just into our newsroom. We have another tornado warning. This is for portions of Hays and Caldwell counties. It's passing just off to the south and east of Kyle and just off to the north of Maxwell. There you see that area of circulation. It's just east of Interstate 35 near the San Marcos area. It's just to the south and east of there. It's just about to pass through the San Marcos Regional Airport, as a matter of fact, and it is until 11:30 a.m. So what we're going to do is we're going to read through some of the data. So it's moving near San Marcos. It's going to be moving to the northeast at around 20 miles an hour. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a cone up here, and as we make our way through, and we're scrolling it out now, and right now we're looking at around the next hour, and it's going to reach school at 11:17, the Uland area just prior to 11:30, the Niederwald area near 11:31. Now the Niederwald area in Caldwell County, that's where we had the confirmed tornado earlier this morning as well, and then on toward Mendoza at around 11:44, and just prior to noon, it could make its way to Southeast Baptist Church, depending on how long the circulation stays together. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at our velocity vector to see if we can get a good look at everything from this particular area. Let's take a look at this. Looks like we got a little bit of rotation. This is where it is, right in there. It's near the New Braunfels radar, and it's right off to the north of the San Marcos Regional Airport. Now, it's starting to be a little bit tight, but it's tight enough to where the National Weather Service has chosen to issue this warning. And again, this is until 11:30. Right now we're at 11:09 a.m. So we're gonna have to watch this closely, especially if you're in the Uland area. So if you're just off to the north and east of I-35, if you're in the Uland area, if you're off to the north and east of the San Marcos Regional Airport, you need to make sure that you are in your safe place at this time to avoid any potential risk as a result of this storm. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at our correlation coefficient. Let's see if we have anything being picked up. Well, don't really see anything from here, but what's going on is because we are close to that particular radar with this storm down near New Braunfels, we're going to get a little bit of that clutter, so it can look muddled at best. So something I want to remind you of in case you see all of this and start to get a little concerned, there is a little bit of that clutter near that radar site. Now let's go back to our velocity vector, and here's what we're showing you right now. It looks like it's been edited just a little bit, just off to the north and east of the San Marcos Regional Airport, which is actually in Caldwell County. Uland, you want to make sure that you are in your safe place right now. And also, if you're getting close to Mendoza, if you're along Highway 21 between the San Marcos Airport headed closer to Uland and then up toward Niederwald, you're in this warning. And also, if you're on I-35, if you're along I-35, if you're east of Kyle, you're going to want to watch this very closely because we've got a good bit of rotation starting to tighten up a little bit, and the National Weather Service has flagged that, and that's why that warning is in effect. So again, this system is moving to the north and east at around 20 miles an hour, and we're going to track it for you a few more times here. Let's go over the next 30 minutes to see who all in the warned path could be involved. We're looking at school again at 11:17, the San Miguel Church at around 11:23, the Uland area a little bit sooner thereafter, and then Niederwald as we get closer to 11:40. So again, tornado warning issued now for Hays and Caldwell County. Looks like this area of circulation is going to straddle the Hays and Caldwell County line for a little bit along Highway 21. So if you live in Hays and Caldwell counties close to Highway 21, you want to make sure that you are in your safe place now. And that includes lowest level of your house, away from windows, or if you're at work, lowest level of your building, away from all windows, have as many walls between you and the outside world as possible. And again, also, you want to make sure you have a bicycle helmet if you have that, a baseball helmet, a football helmet, something like that to protect you from any flying debris. And also make sure if you're in a bathtub, make sure you're doing kind of like a crouching tiger, hidden dragon position where you have your hands on your head and you're doing like a squat, almost like a child's pose of sorts if you're into workouts and those things. But again, we have this tornado warning. It is until 11:30. It is for areas along Highway 21 in Hayes and Caldwell counties. Got a little bit of circulation that's starting to tighten a little bit. And I'm going to show you the radar once again to kind of show you guys what we're going to be dealing with. There it is. This is the area of circulation. I'm going to go ahead and mark that right in here. And there you see it. Ulen, you're looking dry right now, but a lot of the stronger storms are right there just off to the east of Kyle, or the south and east of Kyle. And it looks kind of like a broad rotation, and hopefully we don't have any significant tightening of it at this time. And we're gonna look through, and see if the chat has any updates in regards to this particular system. And there is a report now of rotation in the storm, but nothing yet is on the ground. So yes, definitely what I've been seeing over the past little bit, a little bit of tightening in that particular rotation. And we've also got Chief Meteorologist Hunter Williams, who came in a few minutes ago, just in case anything happened. And here he is now at the Weather Center with the latest on it.
Yeah, thank you, Jordan. Just wanted to fill everybody in on the report that Jordan was just talking about in the National Weather Service chat. This is rotation, which is tightening near the San Marcos Airport. Deputy is there watching the scene, says
And again, we have that flash flood watch, or warning, I should say, for eastern sections of Williamson County. Milam County, you have a flash flood warning as well. And I did want to harp on that real quickly because we know that has been the story of the morning in addition to these tornado warned storms. So with that, we're going to throw it right back on over to the tornado warned storm. And we're going to go ahead and throw it back to Hunter. It looks like the technical issue that we had just a little bit ago has been resolved.
Yeah, we appreciate it, Jordan. We apologize for those audio issues, but just as Jordan was saying, the latest that we have from the National Weather Service, and Jordan, I'm sharing Max 1 with you here too, so I'll control this over here as well. The latest that we have is that this is a storm that is rotating, but no confirmation that it's down. So if you think back to the Caldwell County storm we had this morning, we had a confirmed tornado there. We had video of it down. We do not know that this one is down, but it is certainly an area of tightening rotation. It is near the San Marcos Regional Airport, and as Jordan was saying, it is heading right towards the Uland area. Niederwald, you are also included in this warning, as this is a storm located here near the San Marcos Regional Airport, moving up to the northeast. So Uland, we want you taking your tornado precautions right now. What that means is we want you indoors, obviously, lowest floor of the building, and then put as many walls between the outside and yourself as possible. So let's just go ahead, take a few minutes of our day, take these tornado precautions as this storm is rotating. Most of these storms today, although some have produced confirmed tornadoes, as we have covered, most of them have been relatively quick. So hopefully what happens is this thing is spinning up a little bit right now. We'll give it a couple of minutes and it will start to dissipate, but it's never a guarantee that that is the way things will work here. So here's where the rotation is located. What we want to do, this is close to Opportunity Boulevard right now. So let's zoom in as close as we can, and I just want to say a couple of the names right here. So we have Yarrington Road, we have County Road 158, we have Old Grove Parkway. These are a few of the areas, if this is ringing a bell for you, this is where the rotation is right now. Again, we don't have a confirmed tornado right now, but certainly if any of those names are ringing a bell as far as where you live, or if you know somebody that lives there, we want you taking shelter right now. In addition to that, this is going to be just east of Travis Elementary School, which is right there along I-35. Jordan, what are you seeing?
Yes, we just got a note on NWS chat that said that the rotation is starting to broaden again, and I'm starting to see it as well. It's just on the cell east of San Marcos, and we're also seeing reports of rainfall rates being pretty extreme in the area. So what I'm going to do real quick is we're going to pull some of those radar rates up, and once we do that, we'll probably get a good idea of just how much rain that we have been seeing, because rain has been the story. We have had reports of flooding throughout much of the region, especially out in the hill country, as we've been tracking over the past little bit. Let's see, we're going to look forward here in just a little bit, but what I can tell you is that we've had quite a bit of accumulation throughout much of our immediate region, and we're going to take a look real quick at some of this rainfall accumulation and these rainfall rates right there, and we're going to load this up real quick, and we're going to get that. Sorry about the difficulty there, but let's see if we can pull it up here. There we go. This is what we're looking for. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and scroll this down. We're going to show you San Marcos. Doesn't look like much at present, just off to the north and west of there. It looks like we have a little bit of a dot that we've got around 3.4 inches of rain, and that creek could easily flood. It looks like it may have actually been the Llano River, but just off to the south and west of Kyle, just off southeast of Wimberley, rainfall rates are looking pretty impressive in the San Marcos area, and the National Weather Service is reporting ponding on the roadways in addition to that particular cell. But there are some other areas I do want to point out, especially up in Williamson County, that have gotten some really impressive totals. This is just off to the north of Taylor, and we're looking at around 6.8, nearly 7 inches of rain in these particular spots right there along Highway 29 and just off to the west of Highway 95 there in eastern Williamson County. Just some really impressive rainfall totals associated with that. But again, that's why we do have that flash flood warning. And Hunter, do you have something?
Yeah, just some encouraging news here as we look at the velocity mode of the radar. So we'll get back in. We're seeing that the rotation, which earlier was a little bit tighter, is starting to weaken substantially. And the reason that this is good news is because even a few minutes ago when the rotation was a little bit more well-defined, remember, the National Weather Service, there's a deputy out there who was watching this. He said the tornado was not down. So if it wasn't down then, now we have a pretty good indication that hopefully this is not a tornado that's down, and hopefully this is a situation where the rotation is starting to weaken. So let me show you exactly what I mean here. The area of the storm that is rotating. We're going to loop this. So here, let's actually slow this down a little bit just so you can see the loop speed here. So we'll go into the very slow. So initially, let's loop this one more time. So initially, we had this rotation which was tighter just near the San Marcos Regional Airport, but now it is really broadened out almost to the point where here's where the broad rotation is, but it's not something that we're seeing right now that has a very tight couplet to it. So all of this to say that the rotation in this storm is weakening, not that the threat is over. We do still have a tornado warning, but I do think we're getting to the point here where maybe the National Weather Service will consider canceling this warning. So we're going to stay on until they decide to do that, but as of now, this is not leaping off the screen as an imminent situation where a tornado is definitely down. And on that note, I want to kind of give you the broader picture here. This is the only tornado warning that we have right now. We had a number earlier today. This is the only one for now. Again, this does not include any part of Travis County. This includes Hays into parts of Caldwell County. Outside of that, we have a flash flood warning that Jordan covered for northern Travis into Williamson County. Most of the heavy rain for that area has ended, at least for the time being. What I'm really watching in the short term, in addition to the tornado warning, is this heavy rain from San Marcos into southern Travis. So we already have minor flooding ongoing for pretty much all areas of the I-35 corridor. Here over southern Travis into eastern Travis, this is an area that I'm watching where if we were to see some more significant flooding issues, maybe another flood warning, that's the area that I'm watching closely. So that's kind of the big picture right now. With that being said, let's get back into the tornado warning, and let's go into the numbers here. This is a warning that will continue through 11:30, so another 9 minutes or so on it. And again, the way that this is trending is good news. We still want you sheltered if you live in Uland. We still want you sheltered if you live in Niederwald. We still want you taking tornado precautions, but overall this storm has been trending in the weaker direction with less rotation rather than tightening rotation and a bigger tornado threat. So that's the latest that we have for you. No further updates from the National Weather Service as far as what the deputy down there was watching, but the radar trends have certainly been encouraging. So let's see if that is still ringing true. Let's get back in here on the radar. And again, I'm still not seeing anything that's leaping off the page. As far as tight rotation, the rotation continues to broaden out, which is excellent news. So hopefully here in the next 10 minutes, we can have this tornado warning that ends. But for now, this is still a rotating storm, even if a tornado is not down, that's tracking right along the 21 corridor heading into Uland. So still, just out of an abundance of caution, let's make sure we are sheltered in that area. Again, tornado precautions. That means put as many walls between the outside and yourself as possible. Earlier this morning in Caldwell County, we had the confirmed tornado, which Shane was covering. So that was a situation where we had confirmation that the tornado was down. We have never had confirmation that this tornado has touched down. We've had some spotters watching it spin, funnel cloud getting lowered to the ground, but no confirmation that this has in fact touched down. So heavy rain, rotating storm heading into Uland right now, but hopefully the rotation continues to weaken. This warning will continue right now for the next 8 minutes or so. And with that in mind, let me look at the speed of this, and let's do a storm track on this, and then Jordan, I'll toss things back over to you. So the speed on this storm right now, this is a storm that is moving northeast at 10 miles per hour. So what we'll do, let's pull up the information again, and then we'll do a storm track about like this. So from here where the broad rotation is, moving northeast at about 10, this is going to be the storm track. So this is going to take it into the San Miguel Church around 11:31, 11:33 for the Uland area, Niederwald around 11:47. Again, this storm is tracking to the northeast direction at about 10 miles per hour. So Jordan, that's where we stand right now. I'll toss things back over to you and you can walk folks through what you're seeing.
All right, thank you. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and once again show y'all that TxDOT camera that is right there in San Marcos where you've got quite a bit of that heavy rainfall. Now this is Interstate 35 at River Ridge Parkway in San Marcos. There you can see that cell just off to the east of there. There you see, that's where those darker clouds are. That's where you see that cell. So if you're east of I-35 in Hays County, it's best to stay inside. And again, make sure that you are also in an interior room, away from windows. Make sure that you have as many walls between you and the outside world as possible. If you're at work, make sure you're at the lowest floor of that building in that interior room, just as you would at home. And also, make sure if you happen to have a football helmet or a baseball helmet, make sure that you have that on. Make sure you put your shoes on as well, because any damage that you could have from a tornado, that can cause issues on your feet. So you want to make sure that you have shoes on, especially at this particular juncture. Now, what we're going to do is, again, we're going to also talk about that flash flood warning real quick, and that is for eastern sections of Williamson County, far northeastern Travis, as well as another one for Milam County. Now the Travis and Williamson one is until 1:15, as well as Milam County. There you see impressive rainfall totals in and around the Cameron area. I'm gonna show you some rainfall totals just off to the east of Davila, looking like around 7 inches of rain has fallen in northwestern Milam County. So quite a bit of heavy rain just off to the east of Davila there in northwestern Milam County. And we're also going to take a look at some other areas, especially out in the hill country, because we had some impressive LCRA totals. Let's see what radar estimates there are. And we're going to take a look at this just off to the north of Llano along Highway 16. And we're looking at around 8.3 inches according to this estimation. Now, as awesome as this is for our Highland Lake system, it's also dangerous in terms of the flooding potential, especially along the Llano River, where we've already had flooding issues. So, again, if you're off to the west of Taos in northern Landon County and throughout much of Llano County for that matter, you want to make sure that you are watching and not driving through any flooded roadways. So with that, we're going to toss things back to that tornado warning that's in effect for, again, the next 5 minutes. And as Hunter was mentioning, the broadening rotation, it is some good news on that particular front. But again, and it looks like over the last few scans, it has continued to broaden, which again is really good news. Now, it can be a little bit hard for the common person to tell, because right as it gets closer to Uland, the good thing is, as it gets closer to Uland, you are starting to see that broadening of rotation. But the caveat to that is you've got some areas of purple. That's a little bit of the clutter from the radar beam, because we are a little bit closer to that New Braunfels radar as, say, Austin or the airport, or up toward portions like Mustang Ridge, where we had that confirmed tornado earlier this morning. So let's see if there is any hail cores associated with it, because hail was a big story. It does not look like there are any at this time, which is very good news, because as we may remember that whole situation in Round Rock and how serious that turned into. So we need to really keep tabs on it, even though hail definitely was not a main potential with this particular storm. Again, it is moving off to the northeast at 10 miles an hour, and I wouldn't be shocked if this thing got canceled within the next few minutes. And here we go. Around an hour, we're looking at San Miguel Church at around 11:35, the Uland area in just the next few minutes, Niederwald just after noon, and then Mendoza at around 12:18, assuming this holds together, because again, as Hunter was talking about, this rotation is broadening, and again, really, really good news on that particular front. But again, we're going to continue to monitor the velocities for you. And let's see if the chat has updated. It looks like we're not getting updates from the chat right now, but what I can tell you is that we are still seeing some broadening areas of rotation. Wind speeds have not really been much of a concern. It looks like the winds have been light at best, but it's been the heavy rain, and some of those storms have had a little bit of rotation associated with it. Now, they're going to be Now, I can tell you is that the National Weather Service chat has just written that they are discussing canceling this warning. So not quite canceled, but it's being discussed by the National Weather Service as we speak. So there is good news on that particular front. But again, we're going to want to pay attention to this very closely over the next few minutes. Hunter, you had something?
Yeah, thank you, Jordan. So it looks like they're mulling it over right now, coming to a decision. Will they extend this warning? As we've been going over the wind speeds in the storm, we've shown you that the wind speed's not quite as tight, not quite as fast as what we had a few minutes ago, but that does not necessarily mean that the tornado risk is over. You can still, on the reflectivity here, which is showing where the heavy rain is located, we could see that. And here's the note from the National Weather Service. So they're saying they will let the warning expire. So that answers the question. So the broad rotation right now is moving over Uland. The National Weather Service has determined there is no longer a tornado threat, at least not an imminent threat with this storm. So the tornado warning will expire here in 1 minute. So what we can do is we will return to just our regular midday programming. So folks in the back, let me know where we want to toss this. The warning is going to expire here in just a few minutes. And that is the latest. Now, still, if you live in Uland, if you live in Niederwald, we have heavy rain. There is still going to be the flood risk that we'll watch through the rest of this morning, even into the early afternoon, but that is the only tornado warning right now. Outside of that, we do have a flash flood warning, as you can see, which includes northern Travis into Williamson County, and also a flood warning for Milam County. But those areas, especially over Williamson County, not seeing much additional rain right now. In the short term, once this tornado warning drops off, we will watch heavy rain moving into parts of northern Hayes, southern Travis County. This is going to be the zone to watch southeast Austin around the airport in Coda. That's the zone I'm watching for maybe some additional flooding issues here over the next hour or so. Jenny will stay on top of this, but in the meantime, I'll toss it back over to you.
All right.